Good morning, church. I'm here to give you a financial well-being of the health care of this church. I came back to you and talked to you in March timeframe and told you at that point that we were in a deficit. And I was going to inundate you with a bunch of PowerPoint presentations, some Excel worksheets. Wayne Cassidy put a lot of time and effort in certain scenarios about giving versus expenses. And then I decided after looking at all that, I'm just going to tell you how it is instead of looking and showing you, because we all realize that 2023 is different than 2022. So it's no use standing up here and telling you all the financial information last year versus this year. Now, the Finance Committee has got some really savvy financial people. Not me, but Andrew's the co-chair. We got Wayne Cassidy. We got Dave Hurdle, Dr. Brad Lewis, Tim Stoffer, Jonathan, our pastor, is on that group, and our new pastor will be part of that, and Vicki, our treasurer. And I've told everybody here that we have the most valued individual in this congregation in Vicki. She's been the treasurer. She sees the financial well-being of the church every day. So she's very, very key to this church. Now, back in March, I told you we were in a deficit between $800 to $1,200 on weekly. Now, what that means is our giving, those are the pledges, the contributions, the money in the envelopes that we collect, the tithes, the pledges, everything that we collect. And then we have the operating expense, which comes out of the general fund, which is where all these monies go into. So our expenses out and our intake in, which is the income and expenses, we're still in a deficit. Now, traditionally, summer's been something where we kind of drop off on our giving. May, we were $3,000 in deficit. So you can see it's going to continue. And there's really two areas that can help us with this. The one is what I call the church body. Now, what do we mean by the church body? Well, that church body could be, our church staff, our lay leaders, our trustees, our administrative council, used to be the admin council, finance committee, and all the other committees. Now, these people can assist in our financial well-being of the church by their decisions and their input. Now, currently, we have moved some excesses in different line items and funds. We've had some rainy day accounts. We've had some money in certain accounts that weren't earmarked specifically for something that we've been able to carry through this deficit. We've actually reduced our payroll hours. We've also dropped our expenses and our office supplies. And the trustees and all the other committees are looking at other ways that they can reduce their expenses. We're also looking at and reviewing as a finance committee certain accounts that are laying dormant that we really don't have a clear understand of the mission and the purpose of the monies in these accounts, and making a decisions on whether we can use this money to help us in our financial well-being. Now, the trustees have been in discussions with the conference, and we're going to sell the parsonage to help us. Now, years ago, parsonage may have been an advantage to a new minister coming on board, having a place to live. However, in this time where people and ministers, young, older, want to have some equity in some place to live, and they have a preference on where they would live, and they have a family. So the conference gives ministers an allowance. Now, in some cases, the monthly allowances can equal to or come close to a mortgage payment. So now ministers prefer to have and purchase their own house because now they can build their equity. They have a place of their own. It's not provided by someone. They have something that they can build from, and they have a better tax advantage of writing off things that they do for that house than something that's given to them. So we're going to make the decision, and we're discussing with the conference, because there's a lot of stipulations on what you can do with that monies and proceeds if you sell a parsonage. And we're talking and determining exactly what we're able to do with that monies for sale. But we are actively looking at selling the parsonage. We continue to look at other ways to reduce our deficit. We've moved different things around. We're looking at inactive accounts, as I indicated, and we're continuing to do this to be more financial aware of the position we're in. Now, the second area that can affect and help us in our deficit is the congregation, and that's you. Now, certainly, I don't have to sit there and tell you that increasing your contribution certainly will help, and we certainly wish that you would consider that. But there are other things that you can do to help the well-being of this church. Attend church regularly. It's been shown that the more people that attend church regularly, the more active the church is, the more the contributions and the financial well-being increases. So certainly, the people that are looking and watching church, certainly I understand, the ability to be able to do that and the advantage to do that. But we need you to attend regularly. Something else you can do to help this church is bring a friend. The more you have in church, the more people, the more you attend, the better you are. So consider that. Find a friend, bring a friend. When the offering plate is passed around, now we know that we all contribute, we all do our pledges and tithes, but instead of that appetizer at the paddock or the dessert or something, put a couple extra dollars in the plate coming around. Now, we've also decided that any monies in the offering plate that's not earmarked specifically for something goes in the general fund to pay for the expenses. So if you have an extra money in your pocket when the plate comes around, even though you're giving, we appreciate that. The other thing is, if you're not currently doing the online giving, certainly consider doing that online giving. And if you need help in knowing how that works, but that gives us the ability to be able to project and to have monies available and keep track by you electronically giving. So consider that as something that you might want to do. If you're a committee or you're individual and you're doing some fundraising event, certainly consider that a percentage of the proceeds of that event go to the general fund to help with the expenses of the church. And we certainly would appreciate that. Again, the summer's coming up. We're getting a new minister. Our contributions start declining. We want to continue to be a vibrant church, and we ask for your help. We'll continue to keep you updated what we're trying to do in the Finance Committee, and we're meeting regularly. The Finance Committee with the people we're getting together regularly, and we've discussed, and we're looking at with certain things that we can do. As I indicated, Wayne Cassidy's put a bunch of scenarios together. It says if we do this, this is what our deficit will decline. If we do this, this will do that, and we're working diligently to get to the point where we want to be able to be self-sufficient in our giving and our expenses going out. I appreciate you also adding the church to your prayers. Certainly that would be something that it's a big benefit to all of us. If you have any suggestions that you might feel that can help the church financially in any way, please feel free to send an email to the office. In the comments, put Finance Committee, and we'll take a look. We value everyone's input. Everyone is a member of the church or part of the congregation, has a part of this church. And we appreciate you and your comments. So if you have anything that you feel that would be beneficial financially for the well-being of the church, let us know. And I thank you. If you've got any questions, need any answers, please let me know. Contact Andrew. God bless you.